Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. And also keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, so we are about an hour before market close on Thursday, August 26th, and I just locked in my swing trades, and I'm going to share those with you and point out why and what my exit plan is as it applies. Now, CrowdStrike is my first one. I see the bullish crossover here on the MACD holding up really well. I see the 20 potentially being able to sort of keep pace with the 50 and crossover, which we sort of saw similar-ish back here, was able to carry the price up nicely once that 20 established over the 50. And you know, my only concern here is if it's going to come down and try to fill this gap to bring it down to about 245, 246, just to fill the gap alone, not accounting for any momentum that might cause it to drag it down further. So I'll be keeping a tight stop loss. This first one I'm going to be looking at, if it comes down to test it, is this 266 area, right where my cursor is. You see the support here and then previous resistance here. So I'll keep a close eye on that. And then if it breaks below any of the MAs and closes below them, that'll probably be my stop loss. Otherwise, I'll set a 1 to 2% trailing stop loss once it reaches 5% green in my account, and just let that trigger as it will. SENS is the next one, so much different price point here, but also holding a nice bullish crossover that it had leveled out. It built a nice base here for about, well, what do we say, almost a month, I guess, or about a month. It built this nice base, which sometimes the bigger the base, the bigger the movement is. The saying goes something like that, but I'm also looking for the 20 to cross over the 50 here as well and potentially give a nice push up like we saw there. Obviously that was aided by this big gap up, but the MACD crossover is also in play. So on this one, I'm basically looking for it to come down, and if it tests this area here, this 3.369 or $3.36, 37 cents, then I'll be looking to see if it holds there. If it drops down and sort of turns that to resistance, that would be a sell signal for me. And then similarly with the trailing stop loss, that's going to apply to all of these, so I won't repeat the trailing stop loss situation, as well as if it closes below the nearest MA, that's also an additional sell signal. So it just sort of is like whatever happens first in that series of things. If there's a zone that I'm looking at, like on this one, like we talked about, but always the MAs and always the trailing stop loss if it goes green. Those are always my criteria. PDD, so I know this has been beaten down quite a bit. Nice gap up lately, so it's a little bit of a riskier play. Everything's in a full bearish formation here, though it does have a nice crossover on the MACD. Basically what I'm counting on here is if it comes down to test this 20 MA, that it can bounce off and we can get a bullish cross with the 20 crossing over the 50, and or it continues on its green path tomorrow, and this was just a slight, dip buy opportunity, and that the 20 again helps carry it up above and beyond in the coming days. But this one definitely a little bit of a riskier position to jump into. ADPT is stringing together a few nice days, had a little bit of a dip today, sitting right on the 20 MA. So I thought the degree to which it can test this MA basically on the day that I buy it, that'll give me a pretty quick indicator of whether or not it's worth it to stay in and see if it can jump up, or if it may need to retest it on the way down and create a stop. Alright, I had a little interruption there, but hopefully we came back just fine and I can stitch these together with no problem. PSNL is the next one. Bullish crossover in the MACD, holding the 20 MA. This is, again, a little bit of a more aggressive move to take this position. Certainly could have waited to see if it's going to establish over the 20 MA, but decided to come in and just sort of keep a tight stop loss as we go. But in fully bearish formation here, so plenty of opportunity for upside if it can actually make the swing. That's the big question. So keeping a tight stop loss on this one, especially if it can't establish over this 20 MA, and we'll just kind of have to go from there. Peloton is my next one. I sort of hemmed and hawed at this one for a little bit just because it's been coming down on the MACD here, and it's just like a baby bullish crossover at the moment, which means it might be kind of a lackadaisical one. Like it might kind of do this kind of lazy crossover, but then not get this bump. Even that bump at that point didn't raise the price that much. But, you know, lazy crosses aren't usually my thing, but I did see that it essentially established over the 20 MA yesterday, but then bounced off the 50, got rejected off of it. And now today, it's basically bouncing through all of them, and my hope here is that it can catch on the 20. The 20 can offer supports, and it can help kind of swoop it up and raise the price that way. But of course, if it drops below and it loses that support on the 20 MA, then that'll just be a pretty quick stop loss that it'll hit on my side, and I'll just look for a different entry at a different time. Taiwan Semiconductor has this big gap up, so I'll be watching closely to make sure it doesn't come down. Also, a bit of a mixed bag on the MAs. 50 is on top, just under where the price action is at the moment, and then the 200 though is where it bounced off of. So I'm sort of counting on the 200 to really cause the trend reversal here, meaning, you know, it's been coming down. You see on the MACD, fresh bullish crossover after this big gap up, helped squash that bearish momentum that had been picking up. And so I'm sort of relying on that and the 20 MA to help carry this up. Opportunities for bullish crossovers as the 20 crosses over the 200, and then as the 20 crosses over the 50. So a couple of opportunities for this to have a nice swing up, but I'll keep a close eye on it, and certainly if it can't hold that 200, I'll trigger a stop loss on my end. All right, well, those are the ones that I picked up today. I hope that you had a nice trading day and that you close out the week strong tomorrow, and I appreciate you watching. I will see you in the next video.